Yeah, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our weekly market outlook for the week, where we'll be looking at some tradable instruments and some of the fundamentals to pay attention for the week. Okay, so remember, it's going to take a couple of minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and we should be done with this section. Okay, so to begin, we would start by looking at forex calendar, forexfactor.com. We just want to, you know, highlight the major economic metrics or news, or fundamental news that we could expect for the week. Today is Tuesday, so we already have the first day of the week gone. So today being Tuesday, October 4th, we have a couple of, actually this week we do have a couple of, high impact news to keep in mind. We had the Australian cash rate decision come out at 2.6 as opposed to 2.85 that was forecasted. Even though the 2.6 is actually an increase from the previous, it is worse than expected. So I don't expect it to be that terrible. I could see some retracement on all this because of this, but I don't think it's anything that cannot be corrected. So keep that in mind. Also by 3 p.m., we'll be having the job openings from the US. You could see it here. That is also going to be a metric to pay attention to because this is going to be looking at basically the what do you call it? It's going to be looking at basically the job opening, the available jobs, and the available market for them. So well, it's expected to come out at around 11.07 million. It was previously 11.24 million. So we're expecting a drop in that. So we'll see how it comes out. It comes out worse than expected. Um, then we'll see the USD struggle. We'll look at the Euro USD also gold in relation to this as well a bit. Okay. So also we also have some high impact news like the official rate statement from the NZD tomorrow Wednesday. We also have the non-farm employment change on Wednesday, and also we have employment change from the card. Okay, so those are some metrics that would likely have impact, that would have a lot of impact, but more than not to be confused, we're going to have a major Friday. Friday, we're going to have unemployment report from CAD. We're also going to have the average hourly earnings and the non-farm unemployment. So this would be key. Non-farm unemployment change would be key on Friday, as we likely see very, very strong movement in the dollar one way or the other as regards to the direction price takes. Okay. So now with that's all of those out of the way, let's jump over to our chart and look at we'll look at some currencies and instruments that we could look to trade for the week. So first off, we'll begin by looking at the DXY. So the DXY is it measures the strength of the dollar against all the major baskets. Now, last week, I think as of last week, we had uh, we had a number of reasons to expect the dollar to retrace, that means to weaken a little bit. And I showed that in euro dollar. So euro USD, I actually anticipated that we could see a bounce from channel support and also from the DXY. You could see how I highlighted it red zone. If you were here from the last section, I think it's also on my YouTube channel, so you can always go back and look at that. We were anticipating that we could see the market drop into this zone before a continuation higher. Now, the reason why this is key is even if the drop happens, it's still bullish. The market still looks bullish overall because you can see price still making higher highs, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And even though it's retracing, it's not a reversal of any sort until we start to see, real big break of structures. So for the week, I anticipate that we could see the dollar weaken even slightly further, or maybe towards the end of the week, or maybe even on Friday, we could see the dollar strengthen with some positive dollar report, report basically. So that said, we expect on the DXY, that's dollar index, we're expecting some bullishness from around there. Now, the dollar index is kind of like inversely proportional to the euro dollar, right? So we'll go and look at Euro USD. I did mention a descending channel on this one last week, and we could see that we could have seen a potential rejection, and that was what happened. So some of you who were here as of our last section last week, at the time price was down here, and I made mention of the fact that I wouldn't rule out the fact that price comes down, either taps into this area form some sort of rejection from this region and start pulling back up. And you can see it clearly. The market came down. So let me zoom out a little. So look at, you can see how this area or this downward channel has been intact since back in March. So this was the resistance, the support. Price has been bouncing off from those areas, having at least 4 touches on all of them. So you can see how we have several bounce off from this area. So this is why it's a very strong movement, right? Now, in this sort of market, it, obviously because the market is bearish, there is a strong possibility price continues to stay bearish. So which is why I'm still looking out for continuation bearish in this region. So you see how these areas are highlighted. So let me just remove this. So you see how this area are highlighted just around where we could come and tap into the trend line resistance. It's also, there's also another block that is also left there. The price could find its way up here during the week, and then you could see that rejection to continue going down. So personally, as long as price continues to stay within this channel structure, as long as price doesn't break this high, I'm still looking for selling opportunity to come back and take out this loop, right? So obviously we'll now start looking to extend this channel even further. Now, long term, now our goal is not to figure out what will happen long term, but long term, patterns like this tend to break out higher. So a bearish channel like this usually tends to break out to the upside and then come the reversal. But until that break happens, don't try to force buy. Wait for the break to occur, wait for confirmation to start trading. Let's say a break, a retest, and a rejection, then you can start getting involved. Otherwise, you're better off looking for selling opportunity around this region. If we get rejections from here, targeting these lows down here. Okay. So Euro USD for the week, we still have room to go upwards, but I suspect that price could come up towards this area, find rejection, and then start coming back down. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking to get involved. As of last week, I told you guys that I wasn't interested in looking for buys. I'm only interested in waiting to see if I can get involved in sales because I like to trade in the direction of the trend. So dollar, sorry, euro dollar, I'm anticipating further bearishness if we could see price continue to drop within this area. So if price finds its way up, so what I'll be looking for is maybe some sort of structural shift on a smaller time frame or even a trend line, a counter trend line break. So let's say price gets into here and starts to get some sort of rejection. I'll use that as confirmation to sell, targeting this lows down here. Okay, so this is what I would most likely be anticipating on euro dollar. Now, the next part I also want to talk about is Aussie Swiss. So the Aussie Swiss is one where I actually overall I'm bearish on this one, but I'm trying to see if I can get into some sort of scalp, short-term opportunity to play the retracement. Now, notice how. So let's look at the 1 week time frame here. So if you take a close look at this, you see that it's making this low down here, right? Price has so far made highs and then came back, we rejected this region, and you see how price still take out this high and has now come to take out this low. So by all accounts, I suspect that price wants to continue going down, right? However, there is a good chance, especially from accumulating all the liquidities. I'm sure there would have been a lot of liquidity at this low. You can see how that was double bottom and a lot of stop losses and liquidity would have rested there. Price has grabbed it. There is a good chance price would want to retrace back up before continuing down. So is this potential? Remember, I said potential retracement that I'm looking to play. Now, overall, the direction of my bias on this pair is actually now bearish than bullish. So this would be more or less a counter, a trade slightly against the trend. So basically, what I'm looking to do here is, so you can see how we have this Friday's candle, Monday's candle break high and take out all these highs. I suspect that price might want to come up to one of these, to any of these red regions, right? Before maybe looking to sell off. So what I'm looking for, what I'll be looking to do here is I'm looking to see if price can pull back. So if we can get some sort of pullback, to then look for continuation towards this area. So I'll be looking for the opportunity to buy here and targeting this high. And then if we get into this region, or maybe even this region, I could start looking for opportunity to sell to get back down to this lows. So for the week here is a very at least for today and for the week here something you can keep close eye on. So if you drop down toward the 1 hour time frame here, you'll see how price, basically this is more like Y for price forms a range here, broke below it and broke above it. So right now, as it stands, we could begin to anticipate that price maybe is ready, price would want to pull back into some deeper area. So I like this area here, right? So you can, set your chart alarm. I like this area here. We could see price drop into this region before pulling back up. So any trade here would be obviously with confirmation, but it could look something like this. The price drops into here and I find confirmation, stop loss just below this area, and my first target will be this high here. Not a bad risk to reward ratio, but I'll need confirmation around here. So keep this one in mind. You can take a screenshot if you wish. But I want to see how price react if we get a drop into this region. So if price drops here and we get confirmation, maybe a bullish candlestick formation or a white hole accumulation, and then a break of structure or a sign of strength, I could look to get involved, targeting this high, and overall the highs that were mentioned on the daily time frame. So keep this one in mind. Its close price is currently at around 0.6411. We're looking to see if price can drop down to around 0.3887. That's about just about 50 to 60 bips drop, and then we look for confirmation to then buy, right? That's one thing I'll be looking out for on this one, at least for today, maybe tomorrow. If it's going to happen, it will happen anytime soon. Okay, so another pair I want to also talk about is the Aussie yen. So let's go to the daily chart and let's look at the Aussie yen. So the Aussie yen is also quite interesting in the nature that, well, price is bullish, has been bullish in this one for the longest of time. So there's no point. That's been trend. Basically, you can see how price has been making higher highs and higher lows ever since like forever. Anyway, since like March of 2020. And in markets like this, in a bullish market, predominantly tends to stay bullish. So what I'm looking at is you can see a clear structure. This is low to higher low, higher low, to a new higher low. So I'm expecting we get another higher low targeting this high, right? So we're looking for continuation of the overall direction of the market. If you pull out your Fibonacci to here and just simply go from low to high, like so, you see that we just bounced off. You can see it's 78.6 Fib level, right? So aggressive traders maybe might have gotten it, but what I like to see here is confirmation. Now, if you drop down a little bit further to the 1 hour chart here, you'll notice something. There is more like a trend line, a bearish trend line that appears to have been broken here. Now, what I'm looking for as of now is confirmation to buy, right? So let me zoom in a little bit. Now, if you drop down to the 15-minute time frame here, even further, you would notice, the inner structure. So you can see how this low ended up clearing out all these highs and forming this new high here. So what I'm looking for here is for price to come into this area and look for confirmation to buy, right? So we're looking for confirmation to go long on this one and to buy. Now, I can even go down even deeper, and let's even take a look at the 1 minute time frame to see if we, let's see how market is behaving. So you notice how the price has been dropping, and then it came into this area and it's beginning to range. So this is a good sign actually. Price is beginning to range. What I'd like to see here is for price to maybe come down into here, break up above, and then I'll look to get involved, keep my stop loss below here, targeting this high and even higher high. So what you can keep in mind, therefore, is watch for a candle to, watch for price to go deep into this red zone and then close back above all this area. So you can see this, my line is not straight, but you get it through. You want price to close above this area by maybe coming down here, grab liquidity, and then breaking up above all these highs. That would probably show serve as sign of strength, and then we could look for maybe retracement if we get one to continue going long. So keep that one in mind. I really like this trade, at least for today. We'll see if we get a favorable setup. So favorable setup to me would look like the breakdown, push up above, then continuation like this. So I'll be interested in maybe getting involved like this, keep my stop loss here, target looks like, okay. So at least risk reward ratio is about 1:6, not bad. But I want to see confirmation to then get involved, okay. Now, remember, if you want me to look at any particular instrument for our live, just simply type it in the chat box, and I'll come back to wrap it up. Remember, this is the market outlook class. It's not the cutting edge class where we look at all the instruments for clients who have funded their accounts, and you see all my analysis and so. So we'll just have a limited instrument I would look at for today. So I can take one or two questions from you if you want me to make some analysis on your behalf. But before we call it a wrap, let's also look at gold. Let's look at XAUUSD. We had an absolutely beautiful trade on gold last week, right? Those of you on the Telegram channel, I sent out a trade idea on the Telegram channel for a buy based on the 1 minute time frame. Actually, let's see if I can go back. That buy was absolutely insane. Let's see. Yeah, so it was here. This was almost the absolute close. We had this break and we got involved. I sent it out to the Telegram channel. Price broke what within minutes. Price gave us an entry and went our direction in minutes. Like our actual first target was this high here, and then we also had this high in focus. Personally, this was my overall trade. Now, if you go down even, if we go up to a bit, you see the overall direction of the market. So gold has been bearish. Now I know this whole aggressive pullback might seem to be, it might appear to be like the bullishness. Okay, price wants to now break towards the moon. While that is possible, you also have to keep in mind that the overall direction is bearish, right? So the overall direction is bearish. Okay, somebody asked for the Telegram channel. Well, the Telegram channel, if you have funded your account, just simply discuss with your client, your account manager. He or she will be glad to add you to the group. It's for clients only. It's exclusive to clients who have funded the account. So if you funded your account, just simply reach out to the account manager and we'll be glad to add you. If you don't have an account, then reach out, just simply type in the yes and I'll reach out to you afterwards. I'll connect with the account manager and set you up with an account. Okay, so gold, as it stands now, even though we had a beautiful buy trade from here, in my opinion, I'm no longer in that trade. I'm out of taking profit. I'm good. I am actually now looking for a potential bearish continuation. So notice how price has been making from high to low to lower high to lower low to lower high to lower low, lower high, and now a lower low. So all this could just be a potential lower high, then go down and make a new lower low. So that said, I am overall very on this one, which is why you can see this trend line, multiple touches, 1, 2, 3, and we are currently around that CC high highlighted that area here. Yeah. So price is approaching that trend line. It's similar to EURUSD, similar to the inverse of the dollar index. This trend line is very key. If we break it and start to break structures, not just the trend line, we break the trend line and then we start to break structure on the higher time frame, then we could be looking at a reversal. Otherwise, if price comes into this area and starts to react, and then we get a rejection from here, we could just simply see the continuation. So basically what I'm looking for now is either a price structure to allow me to continue to sell this, or for price to break above. I'm actually not looking for price to break above. If it breaks above, fine. I'll now start trying to see how to what it means in the overall grand scheme of things. But for right now, I would just want to keep close watch on this area here, this trend line that appears on the daily, the 4-hour, and even the weekly and 1-hour time frame, and see if it holds. If it holds, you could find yourself with a very good trade setup to to get involved selling, targeting this low here. There's also a leftover order block up here. The price may even react here, break up, and then close back within this. So we're not looking for a this trend line. You're not waiting to just see a 1 hour, 15 minute candle close. A daily candle close, preferably, even weekly candle close, would be more significant than, let's say, 1 hour, 15 minute candle close, because we could have price close above it, or move above it on a slower time frame, and then close back below it to then continue to go down. So I would be looking for something like this to get involved in this trade. I actually quite like the idea of looking for selling opportunities on gold within this region here. So we'll see if we get that set up, and if we do, I would also send out, if obviously depends on when it happens, I might also send out to the Telegram channel to clients as well. Okay, so that would be the analysis I have in mind for we looked at the number of instruments, we looked at the TXY, we looked at gold, we looked at Aussie yen and Aussie Swiss as well. I think we can take one more. So I asked if you want me to look at one instrument, any particular instrument, just type it in there and I'll look at it. But I think let's just quickly look at the GBPUSD based on request. So GBPUSD, I haven't really traded this one in a while. Okay, so yeah, the same thing. Last week I was looking. I said, I think in our analysis, I said with this rejection here, with the C price push up, but I'm still looking for overall sell opportunity. Now price has actually pushed up into the area, which is good. But right now, I probably want to see, maybe allow it to come up towards this trend line again, or towards this first. Let's take this one off, towards this red area up above it here, right? So if it's fine, if GBP continues to stretch higher, you can see how. Notice that even this big bullishness here is relatively, it doesn't really mean anything in the overall scheme of the price structure, because you can see how price has been bearish, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. The price has been bearish, making lower lows and lower highs. And sometimes this retracement might look aggressive, but they are still, in the direction. So even this sort of retracement, unless price breaks this trend line and start to make new high, there is a much likely chance that price come here and continue going down. So which is what I'm waiting for. I want to see a reason to sell. I'm still be targeting these lows down here. So if we get valid set up, and I'll send them out as well. If I can, if it happens when I'm on my chat and I can, draft out something and send to the Telegram, I will do that as well. Okay, so that would be, I think that would be will be it for me for the instruments I want to take a quick look at. Remember, for the next class, we would look at all the instruments as much as our time can permit and look for 3D setups on them all, right? And how we can look to maybe approach it and the best, more like best practice. My analysis and setup as to how I look to treat them, okay? So thank you everybody for joining me. If you have questions, I think now will be the time you can just type in your questions, or maybe just speak up or something. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope you grab it. So remember, when it comes to trading, risk management is the holy grail. Risk management is what to set you apart as either a success or a failure. You want to ensure that you're always trading with proper risk management. And all of this are not investment advice. They're just my personal opinions and my perspective to make sure that you do your own research physically, and anything you do is